When I was sleeping, I had this wish on my mind to tell you this story today that I experienced in Japan, Fukui, 2025. And it's about trust. Trust is the most important thing for traveling. Without any trust, a lot of things might be not possible. A lot of people come to me and always ask me, "Hey Chris, how do you afford to travel? How do you do that to travel?" And this is one of my stories that I'm going to tell you today. It all started at the 16th of April in 2025. Short to give you a review where I was at that time approximately is after I was done living in China basically, finishing all my work, I had one dream. I wanted to go one time to Japan and just travel. But of course, I had too much luggage. So I left it all by my friend's house and I just wanted to backpack. Yeah, and that's what I did. And at the time, I already traveled Japan approximately around 1 month. It's in April, and at that time around, the Sakura season was also very, very late. I will show you on a map where I've been already. So I started pretty much from the south going upwards till Tokyo, and then I need to go like a big circle back towards to Osaka because from this place I'm going to fly back to South Korea. Yeah, and this is where we're standing. So what's the story about and what's the story today? It's about trust and how to travel right. Because a lot of people miss out so much on their travels because they miss the one most important thing, and that's the trust factor. Going on with the story is the 16th of April 2025 in Fukui. I already had amazing start in Fukui with a lot of blessing, with a lot of interesting things happening, but this is for another time. And I woke up in the morning. It was around 7 a.m. I was at the bus station, going into the bus, driving to the terminal, and then going into a train. I was so sleepy, I many times fall asleep on the train. But it's an older one where you still can hear everything. And Fukui is a bit closer to the ocean, but the place that I'm going towards into is more inside, in like a mountain range. So sitting into the train, falling asleep in the morning, I could see so many beautiful landscapes. I will show you here right now some pictures. Literally, you can see all the rice field, the Japanese houses, and all the mountains in the backgrounds. And the mountains there were astonishing. Therefore, there's also called the Japanese Alps. I hope Alps is the right English verbs, or like Dolomites. I think Japanese Dolomites is like those big mountains in Europe, and so beautiful. As I arrived in the temple, I was already blown away. It was so beautiful. I went to the booth, I bought my ticket, and it was quite cute. There was like a small stance where you could put in like points of papers from which country the visitors have been coming today. And I was the first one from Germany. There's not been many people, and I saw there's somebody scribbling like from Serbia. And I didn't mind it, I just went in. But remind this one. Outside, the temple was restored and not that crazy looking. But once you step inside, and I think it cannot be shown on the pictures, it was massive. It was like, you see him, right? He's that small, and then you see the gigantic Buddha statues in front of you. But they're not so impressive. The most impressive thing were actually the statues at the wall. It was like crazy. You're standing there, one sitting, and there's thousands of them. You're thinking like, how many years, how many people need to work on that to create this thing? And the silence and the pressure, it was something different. And then I saw one foreigner. Because I wanted, of course, to take a picture of me because this place was so beautiful. So I approached him and he was such a lovely guy. He was from Serbia. We talked about what he do, and he's also like a travel influencer, showing all his things around the world. I took pictures for him, he took pictures for me, we had a great talk, and I was so lovely to meet this guy. After I was done with the first temple, then the story begins. Why trust today is the most important thing that I want to teach you. So, Now, the morning temple is over, right? And I do have a deadline to get back to Osaka on that day. So I had to decide between either the Dinosaur Museum or the Forest Temple. And if you've been already in Japan for quite some times, you know the first 3 to 4 temples are very beautiful and very impressive. But after some time, you can kind of like, yeah, I've kind of seen this somewhere, right? And this is why I decided to go to the Dinosaur Museum. Fukui is the third biggest dinosaur museum in the whole world. And sorry, I went there. I looked on Google Maps, there were no buses. The next bus was like in over like 1 hour whatsoever. I decided to walk 2 hours and 30 minutes. I was walking and it was just beautiful. And one thing that I really enjoy about Japan, they have in whatsoever you are, those vending machines where you can just buy a drink, like the whole suburbs. It's just standing there and you can buy a drink. It's so cool. After I reached the museum, I bought my ticket, I went inside it. It looked like a Jurassic World. It kind of gave me those vibes with the couple in the outside going inside. It was so interesting. I never seen so many restored bones in one places. It was very, very, very good. And how it was layered. There was even a Pokemon display at that time. I finished the exhibition and I looked at my watch and be like, yeah, actually, I do got some time maybe to go to the other place. And I looked at which time the sunset is going down and I calculated the time. If I would go fast, I would make it very, very, very close. Most likely it's going to be dark when I'm arriving there. So, what is the first thing if you have a problem? It's not giving up. And this was the same thing for me in this term. If I learned one thing in my trip on Japan, is I gotta trust. Trust on God. And that's why I sit down, I thought, how can I make it? What is in my power to make this happen going to that place? And that's what I thought about. And then the idea came to my mind. I'm on top of a hill, and there's only one official road where the cars they need to drive down, right? So every car that is parked on a lot on top who wants to go home or drive to another destination, they need to go down that hill. And that hill by foot is around 30 minutes. So this is what I was trying to do. I was looking out for somebody who's driving home or like anyways with the car. So I could save 30 minutes. So I was looking around the parking lot trying to find somebody. But there was only one black woman. Only one woman. And I'm like, I don't want to talk to that woman because see from that perspective, a random stranger, a man approaching a woman, asking a woman, hey, can I drive with you in the car? I think that might not really seem very nice or gentle to the person. Like how to express it in best in English. It's like I could be a weirdo or like want to rape her, whatsoever, right? This is the worst case scenario. Of course, I'm not that kind of person. Basically, this is the reason why I said like, no, I don't want to talk to her. I was looking out for other people, a May person perfectly, or maybe a family, because it's more trustworthy, right? But somehow, there was a voice inside me, maybe my gut feeling or whatsoever you want to call it, God calling out to me, go talk to her. I'm like, no, I don't want to talk to her. But I said like, go talk to her. And so I did. I went to her, I talked to her. I'm like, hey, I want to go to the temple. I just need to go down the road. Is it possible if you can take me a little piece? It will save me a lot of time. Explain my situation. And so I did. I explained my situation to her and she'd be like, oh yeah, sure, no problem. I'm going to ask my colleagues that I'm with. Those were 3 American teachers in a school from Tokyo who were like kind of pre-visiting already the museum and planning or pre-planning the trip for the students if this area is fit for them. And then we went to the colleagues and I asked them, oh yeah, can you come with us? And they'd be like, yeah, sure, no problem. But we just need to go to the souvenir store and check 1, 2 more things. I'm like, sure, you would save me already a lot of time. So after we went to the car and the driver, he asked me, yo, Chris, actually, where do you need to go? So I pull out my phone, I'm searching the place and I'm showing my phone to him. A short silence moment and It was like, yo, this is exactly where we're going to. I'm like, really? I was so excited. I was so happy that we reached that, like that they're going to the same destination as I do. So we went into the car. We were all laughing because it was such a coincidence, right? And we were driving, and they saved me 3 hours for walking. I got there and it was the perfect time. We walked into the forest together to the temple, and then we said goodbye to each other. Maybe we will see each other later again. And the light, it was something I never really felt in all the other temples in Japan, because usually the main temples, they're overrun by tourists. But this was differently. This was quite calming and very, very beautiful. Anyways, after I finished, I walked down, I met them again, I said goodbye again to them, and then I was walking. And once you're walking, this is the most beautiful thing I think for traveling. It's not always about the car, the convenient train rides, whatsoever. It's the time when you notice your body's tired, you're done with the day, you feel the heavy weight on your feet, it's hot, sweat is running down, but you're in the moment. All the small interesting things become quite interesting. Like, look at that palace with the tractor on the fields, how he's farming. And there are so many small moments. One is especially, I don't have much a picture because at this time I had to quite run up because I was missing my train. It's like there on the trees on the corner was like a bench with two girls, student girls, Japanese sitting, and I was running because I was missing my train, and they had to hold back the laugh so hard because I looked so desperate running. At the end, I had to laugh myself, but I made it on time. I was in the train back. I was sweating. The day was so great, and the sun was so beautiful. I was driving back to Fukui, sitting really quick down. I had like still 45 minutes till my train departs. And of course, when you're traveling, my goal is in each country to eat one cheeseburger and try the differences. But at this place, also in Japan, they had such interesting items on the menus. Have you ever seen a burger with rice patties? Or with like a shrimp? Like shrimp fillet or whatsoever? It was so cool. I just needed to show you to this. But the end of the story, shortly to put something on top, I was driving on the train, and then when I was changing in the main station, I walk out of the train, and then I turn to my right. I'm like, am I seeing wrong? I know that guy. And what is the guy from the morning? The Serbian guy. And then we were driving to Osaka. But the moral of the story, the main thing that I want to share to you, that is the most important to me, is firstly, you need to learn to trust. A lot of times we try to plan our trips to the fullest. We are afraid that we don't have enough money or things are not going to turn out as we want. But planning is one part of it. But the second thing is to be free, to be adjustable in the moment. And this is what I really want to show. Trusting in God. Trusting that you're going to be led, that everything is going to be okay. Because I never saw this by myself when I was only in my hometown. I only discovered that trusting, it happens through the travel because we fully need to rely. And I'm going to share a lot of more stories like this. If you want to understand why I get to this conclusion, I hope the story could entertain you a little bit today and give you also courage to travel. I hope to see you soon, and till to the next video, stay safe. Have a nice day. Bye bye.